Welcome back to the deep dive. This is episode 57, and we're jumping right back into Purgatory.
Yeah, picking up on that sixth level, temperance.
Exactly, where souls are, well, learning to shed those earthly attachments, specifically gluttony, right?
That's the focus here. And remember, the traveler just had that fifth P wiped from his forehead.
Right, showing he's making progress, moving past that particular sin. It's a visible sign of liberation starting.
And Canto 23, where we are now, it really dives deep into some powerful personal stuff.
It does. It connects the past, the present purification process. It's quite intense.
Absolutely. So you've got this landscape where souls are, incredibly thin, emaciated.
Yeah, they're experiencing this craving for food and water they can't satisfy. That's their penance.
And right in the middle of this, the traveler runs into someone he knows.
Forese Donati, from his Florence days.
Right. But seeing him here,
Yeah.
it's a shock. He's physically just wasted away by the process.
But there's something else too, right? A kind of spiritual lightness?
Exactly. Despite the physical state, you sense he's moving forward spiritually. And what's really interesting is how quickly he got this far.
He mentions his wife, Nella.
Yes. He gives all the credit to her prayers, her virtuous life back on Earth.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? We've seen this before, but it really hits home here.
It really does. This idea that the living through their faith and actions can genuinely, actively help souls in purgatory.
Speed up their journey, basically.
Yeah, accelerate that path toward God. It shows this dynamic link between earth and purgatory. It's not a static thing.
And the conversation, it gets very personal between Forese and the traveler.
They start talking about their youth in Florence.
Yeah, wilder times, you could say, full of excess, worldly stuff, including the very gluttony being purged here.
And what's striking is how open the traveler is about his own part in that. He doesn't try to hide it or excuse it.
No, he owns it, which seems really important.
Absolutely crucial. Facing that past, especially the sinful parts, is key to this whole process. The suffering here isn't just like punishment.
It's the cure, in a way.
Precisely. It's burning away the desire itself, the appetite that drove those actions. Their talk really shows redemption's possible, but, it takes that honest look at yourself first.
Facing the weakness.
Yes, admitting it. That's the first step.
And even their friendship seems different now. Purified, maybe.
I think so. It's clearly moved beyond just being drinking buddies. It shows that real connections can actually deepen through spiritual growth. They don't just have to fade.
That's a hopeful thought.
It is. And then, true to form, the story connects back to the politics of the time.
Right, Forese talks about his brother, Corso Donati.
Yeah, major political player back in Florence. Forese basically prophesies Corso's violent end.
Which serves as another reminder from Dante, doesn't it? Earthly power, political games, they have real spiritual consequences.
Absolutely. Everything counts in this divine economy. Actions have weight.
So, just as that intense conversation wraps up, another figure appears.
Another poet. And he recognizes the traveler's style of poetry.
Yeah, he calls it out, asks about the difference, mentions the stil novo, the new sweet style.
Okay, so what's going on there? It's not just about moral failing anymore.
Well, it suggests the purification process isn't only physical or moral, it can be intellectual, artistic too.
How so?
The stil novo was this movement towards, let's say, a more refined, more spiritually focused kind of poetry compared to what came before. Bonagiunta acknowledging it, maybe even admitting his own style, was less evolved. It suggests that even art and ideas need refinement, need to evolve towards something maybe truer or more responsible. There's an intellectual responsibility woven in.
Interesting. So art isn't separate from the spiritual journey.
Seems not. It's all part of the path, needing its own kind of purification or refinement.
Wow. Okay, so let's try and pull some threads together for us, on our own journeys. What can we take from this canto? Well, first off, the sheer power of support. Nella's prayers for Forese, it shows how love and positive actions from others can genuinely lift us up, help us progress.
Yeah, that's huge. We're not always alone in our struggles.
Definitely not. And then there's the honesty piece. Facing our past, even the messy parts, the mistakes. It's necessary, painful maybe.
But not just as a burden, right?
Exactly. Not as a final judgment, but as the starting point for change, for transformation. It's the raw material.
And this idea of purification being about retraining desires, not just resisting them.
Right. It gets to the root, the appetite itself, that feels very profound, very psychological almost.
And finally, this unexpected bit about intellectual or creative work also being part of the journey.
Yeah, that maybe our ideas, our expressions also need refining, need to aim for something more, truthful or beneficial. Responsibility extends there too.
So purification, connection, honesty, responsibility. Quite a lot packed into one section.
Definitely a lot to chew on.
Absolutely. Plenty to consider. We'll have to leave it there for today, but we will continue our deep dive next time.